Welcome to 7 Rules of Power. Surprising, but true, advice on how to get things done and advance your career. You will be guided through Jeffrey Pfeffer's transformative insights into the nature of influence and authority in the modern workplace. If you've ever felt overlooked for promotions despite your hard work, wondered why some colleagues seem to effortlessly climb the corporate ladder, or questioned whether you have what it takes to lead and make meaningful change, this audiobook is designed specifically for you. Power isn't something you're born with, nor is it guaranteed by your job title or technical expertise. Instead, as you're about to discover, it's a skill that can be learned, developed, and strategically applied by anyone willing to challenge conventional wisdom about success. Over the next several hours, we'll explore 7 revolutionary principles that will fundamentally shift how you think about professional advancement. You'll learn why playing by the rules isn't enough, how to project authority even before you officially have it, and why using your influence actually creates more power rather than depleting it. Whether you're an emerging professional looking to make your mark, a mid-career employee seeking that next breakthrough, or a seasoned professional wanting to maximize your impact, these principles offer a roadmap to claiming the influence you deserve. Prepare to challenge some deeply held beliefs about how success really works, because as Jeffrey Pfeffer demonstrates through research and real-world examples, the path to power is often counterintuitive but always actionable. Let's begin this journey toward transforming not just your career, but your ability to drive meaningful change in every area of your life. Key takeaways. Influence doesn't come naturally or solely from your official role. Instead, it's something you can deliberately develop by applying 7 strategic principles. The initial principle involves removing personal obstacles. Release self-doubt about your qualifications and create a compelling personal story that showcases your abilities, background, and achievements rather than your perceived weaknesses. Back up your revised narrative through decisive actions. Move beyond limiting traditions and social boundaries that constrain you, and maintain determination and resilience in pursuing your objectives. When you acquire influence, embrace using it actively. Influence grows stronger through application as you demonstrate leadership, take calculated risks, and implement beneficial changes for those around you. Consider the initial impact you make on others. Experiment with adjustments to your appearance, communication style, body language, and vocal tone to develop an image that aligns with your desired message. The 7 principles of influence. Principle 1. Remove personal obstacles. Numerous individuals become preoccupied with their perceived shortcomings. When presented with opportunities, they often hesitate, claiming they lack sufficient experience, hold junior positions, or differ too greatly from traditional successful leadership models to take action. When people maintain these beliefs instead of more empowering ones, they restrict their capacity to recognize their value and reach their complete potential. Claiming influence becomes impossible when you obstruct your own progress. Concentrating on limitations not only prevents you from viewing yourself as someone capable of making an impact, it also prevents others from perceiving you that way. To address this challenge, transform your personal story. Acknowledge your strengths and identify how your abilities and background have contributed to your achievements. Then determine whether gaining influence matters to you personally. If so, consider how much effort you're willing to invest in obtaining it. You control your level of networking, complimenting others, or self-advocacy for advancement. You can choose to participate or abstain from any influence-building activities, but remember this should be a deliberate decision that either includes or excludes you from the competition. Should you choose to stop hindering yourself and instead become your strongest advocate for influence, several changes will be necessary. Maintaining persistence when pursuing your goals, demonstrating resilience so obstacles don't derail your progress, embracing confidence and a positive self-image, abandoning powerless mindsets, such as refusing to engage in office politics, and adopting victim mentality's principle 2. Challenge established norms. Claiming influence requires breaking certain conventions. You must go beyond working diligently, maintaining politeness, functioning as a team player, and attempting to succeed purely on merit. Alongside these valuable behaviors, you must distinguish yourself by challenging some norms, regulations, and social expectations. Numerous influential people are well known for disregarding rules. They interrupt conversations, speak with greater volume, and display less frequent smiling than their colleagues. They also occupy more physical space in rooms or at tables, show less concern for punctuality, and feel no remorse for going against familiar norms or customs. For those accustomed to following rules, breaking them may seem like a disturbing choice. However, engaging in these unconventional behaviors offers clear advantages. For instance, surprising others at strategic moments creates an element of unpredictability that typically works in a person's favor. Observers often struggle to process and react to unexpected behaviors immediately and give in to their curiosity, focusing more attention on the rule breaker than they might on others. This concentrated attention can frequently be used to benefit someone seeking influence. Rule breakers also discover it's more efficient to act first and seek forgiveness afterward, if truly necessary. While conventions might encourage you to stay within boundaries and make polite, logically supported requests for even minor deviations, those with influence do what they want first and address consequences after securing their victory. Another benefit of abandoning restrictive rules is that they often benefit those who create them rather than those who comply with them. Choosing not to participate in actions, behaviors, or activities that disadvantage you may help you achieve exactly what you want without navigating through limiting factors. Principle 3. Project authority. You can also gain influence by ensuring others receive an excellent first impression. Specific appearances can sometimes affect how much authority others perceive you to possess, as can your behavior, communication style, and approach to conflict and conversations. Influential people make lasting impressions by appearing comfortable during conflicts, insisting on their viewpoints, and remaining unapologetic toward others. Additionally, they excel at body language, facial expressions, vocal tone, and messaging, which helps them create both conscious and unconscious awareness of their authority. Crucially, influential people also radiate confidence that draws others toward them. Studies have shown that confidence spreads to others. Many gravitate toward confident individuals who appear successful and self-assured, subconsciously believing they can access those feelings through close association. This confidence doesn't require justification. People who exaggerate their self-importance often achieve equal success in attracting influence as those with verifiable accomplishments. It's simply an attitude to adopt and express through gestures, posture, vocal pitch, volume, speaking duration, sustained eye contact, interruptions, and other methods of displaying dominance. Principle 4. Develop a recognizable identity. Influential individuals often possess an identifiable personal brand. Others understand who they are, how they function, and what principles they represent. This brand isn't developed accidentally. Instead, it's a carefully cultivated, intentionally constructed summary of what makes someone exceptional and why they're uniquely qualified to lead, influence, or create change. To establish a brand, you'll need to create a brief description that outlines your achievements and the abilities and experiences that support them. Moving quickly to develop this narrative is crucial. Often, less strategic professionals leave their narratives to chance, allowing others to define who they are or what they can accomplish. By taking control of your narrative, you claim authority over your story and the impression others will form of you. Your story must extend beyond written words. You must behave consistently with it and present an appearance that reinforces it. Most likely, your story will include visual elements that make you appear influential. If this applies, the following strategies can help support the brand you're working to establish. Develop an appearance that helps you stand out from competitors, host, or appear as a guest on podcasts, author books, or present at conferences to establish credibility as a thought leader. Make yourself noteworthy and remain available for personal interviews that help others discover more about you. Welcome opportunities to be appropriately controversial, particularly in ways that generate clicks, views, and attention. Utilize your prestigious associations whenever possible. Highlight your work and achievements. Principle 5. Build connections continuously. Creating networks and social relationships can significantly help you develop influence and advance your career. Nevertheless, research indicates that most professionals dislike networking opportunities and either actively avoid them or don't engage in ways that produce results. Often, both approaches stem from people viewing networking as a chore rather than a skill they can develop to build credibility and find career fulfillment. The most beneficial networking outcomes result from three elements: self-reflection about who you are and what you want to accomplish, understanding what's achievable, and dedicated effort. When applied properly, you can organize your social environment to support you and your most ambitious goals. Approach improving your networking abilities systematically. The following practices can be helpful. Connect with people with whom you have distant relationships, including those with whom you share only one mutual connection. This group will likely be connected with others outside your social circle, have access to different information sources, and offer fresh perspectives you can utilize. Become recognized as someone who brings people together by introducing individuals who need each other. This action will help others view you favorably and as a valuable asset in their networks. Discover ways to remain central to information flow. For example, volunteer to serve as the primary contact on a project, so more people encounter and become familiar with you at work. Provide value to others to establish a reciprocal system, which you can access later when you need it to claim influence. Principle 6. Apply your influence. Too frequently, people who accumulate political influence hesitate to use it, fearing it might become depleted. However, influence isn't a finite resource. It replenishes as you utilize it, achieve impressive results, and implement change. There are numerous ways to employ the influence you gather. Here are several suggestions to begin sustaining your influence system. Demonstrate initiative, implement positive changes that will attract people to your cause, recruit people who will support you, and remove those who won't communicate to others that you're prepared to use your influence. Make yourself essential by maintaining multiple responsibilities or ensuring there isn't a probable successor ready to replace you. Principle 7. Achievement justifies nearly everything. The final principle of influence is that once you possess it, retaining it often becomes straightforward. With influence, you can afford to make more mistakes and errors than you could without it. One explanation is that people resist change, particularly regarding social dynamics. Provided there's fairness, stability, and strong performance demonstration, you'll likely find others forgiving and overlooking poor decisions rather than allowing them to define you. Two mental processes cause this phenomenon. First, human minds desire consistency. When others accept your brand and the stories you tell about yourself, they'll consider that information as fact. They'll interpret actions that align with your brand as supporting evidence of that fact, and often they'll disregard any evidence that contradicts it. Second, people believe the world operates justly and fairly, so everyone receives what they deserve. When this mindset applies to influential people, most assume there are virtues contributing to a person's good fortune. Therefore, they view the influential person as good and worth following. You can achieve the status and success that come from these principles of influence, provided you implement them and make them a regular, consistent part of your behavior. Begin by recognizing influence as something you can practice. Then, make it a self-sustaining approach that drives your long-term success. Conclusion. As we reach the end of our exploration of Jeffrey Pfeffer's 7 Rules of Power, take a moment to reflect on how far you've traveled in your understanding of influence and authority in the workplace. You've discovered that power isn't a mysterious quality possessed by a chosen few, but rather a learnable skill governed by specific principles that anyone can master. From getting out of your own way to building a recognizable brand, from strategic networking to the bold use of your influence, you now possess a comprehensive framework for claiming the authority you need to create meaningful change. Remember that these 7 rules work in concert with one another. Breaking conventional rules becomes more effective when you simultaneously project power through your presence and communication. Building your personal brand amplifies the impact of your strategic networking efforts. And once you begin using your power consistently, you'll find that success indeed excuses the occasional misstep, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of influence and achievement. The path forward requires more than just knowledge. It demands action. Start by choosing 1 or 2 rules that resonate most strongly with your current situation. Perhaps you need to work on projecting more confidence in meetings, or maybe it's time to expand your professional network beyond your immediate circle. The key is to begin implementing these principles consistently, treating power as something you practice rather than something you hope to acquire. As you apply these insights, remember that power carries with it the responsibility to drive positive change. Use your growing influence to create opportunities not just for yourself, but for others who may be struggling to find their own path to advancement. Your journey toward greater influence starts now. The rules are clear, the path is mapped, and the only question remaining is how far you're willing to go to claim the power that will transform your career and amplify your impact. Thank you for joining me on this transformative exploration of the 7 rules of power. Now go forth and put these principles into practice. Your future self will thank you for taking this crucial first step.